Hi there, and welcome back to Derriere Farms. I apologize, this is my second attempt at recording the video, and I'm not sure how the sound is going to sound, if I'm too loud or if I'm too quiet. For some reason, my speaker or my microphone reset itself, and the last time I recorded this video, all you could hear was the sound of the mower. You couldn't actually hear the sound of my voice. Anyway, long story short, we're going to take a look at the Krone Big M and see if it is still the king of mowers or not. Now, I know in previous videos I've alluded to the fact that it's cheaper to run the John Deere, and I'm using John Deere purely because I like to keep the horsepower even, 6250R with the Pottinger combo set versus running the Krone Big M. But since every other YouTuber seems to have made their how to grow grass videos using the Krone Big M, I wanted to see if there was something I was missing or if there was something I wasn't missing. So let's take a look. We'll go ahead and we'll line the Krone Big M up to the field. We'll do our harvest. And I just want to make sure I get exactly right. Same as I would with the John Deere set, so I'm not giving one the advantage over another. Oh, stop right there. I'm going to have to windrow that. But the Krone Big M is capable, as you can see, of wide swathing or swath dropping. We're going to go for swath dropping from here on in, and we'll pick that up in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mow both fields. I am timing the amount of time it takes for each mower to do its thing. And I'm also going to look at the repair costs, the fuel costs for each set, both the John Deere with the Pottinger combo and the Krone Big M, to see whether my hypothesis works out or not. Right off the bat, I see a difference right there between the Krone Big M and the John Deere set. The John Deere set would not have missed a patch like that. Now, I did, in my preview attempt for this video, try out the Krone Big M, and when I hit V or Control V to try and lower both front and rear mower sets at the same time, it's not always consistent. Sometimes they raise at exactly the same time, and sometimes it takes a second or two longer for the rear mower set to raise than the front. So I don't know. I mean, it went down, it went back up. I don't know if that's because it's getting confused by the barn or if it's just... See, there it goes. It's fine this time. So I don't know if it's something to do with the programming in the Krone Big M or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish mowing this field, and then I'm going to finish mowing the other field, And I've created a save, so I'm going to use both the Krone Big M, brand new, and I'm going to use a brand new John Deere 6250R, like I said, with a brand new Pottinger mower. That way there is no variation in what the repair cost should be. They're both brand new vehicles running around the same amount of time. So let me go ahead, and as soon as this gets to the end of the field, I want to see what it does. Yep, see, there's no reason for it to turn around there like it did, because there was nothing in the way. It backed up, same as the John Deere would, and it's put its mower down. So that's kind of odd that it's missing bits at the end. Anyway, let me bring you back in when I've mowed both fields. I will reload the save so it's exactly the same crop, and I will try both mower combos. I will see you in a few minutes. Alright, so here we are at the repair shop at the biogas plant. So what I did was I mowed field 38 and field 29 first with the Krone Big M and then with the John Deere combo set. I then refueled them at that gas station right there, and then brought them over to the repair shop. In terms of time, it took 19 minutes for the Krone Big M to mow both fields. I wasn't including travel time. Maybe I should have, because that affects engine hours, but that's also included. And it took 25.06 or 25 minutes for the John Deere set to do its thing. Now, the one thing I did notice is that the John Deere set took its time turning and then dropping the front and rear mowers. It didn't make any of those funny patches that the Krone Big M did. Probably wouldn't be a big deal if I was running the mower instead of an AI worker, but we've discussed that. The AI worker mows exactly what it should mow. It doesn't cut the meadow grass around the field, and that's what we're concerned with in terms of yield. So the John Deere ended up with 0.5 hours at 25 minutes, and the Krone Big M at 20 minutes ended up with 0.4 hours. Refueling costs and repair costs, the Big M was $140, and the John Deere combo set was $125. Overall, not a huge difference. And this is kind of what I'm struggling with. Both the fuel cost and the repair cost were cheaper on the John Deere set. But it wasted a lot more time turning and cutting at the ends of the fields. Like I said, I'm sure if I was doing it and with the right key combination, which I do have programmed in, and I wasn't concerned about getting the exact amount of grass out of the field, I could hit the lift lower buttons at the right time so that I could get the front mower to lift and the rear mower to lift and then drop, so that I wouldn't be wasting as much time. I could probably cut it down from 25 minutes to maybe 23 minutes. It would still be a little bit slower because it travels at about a mile per hour, maybe 2 miles an hour, depending on the ground, slower than the Krone Big M. Now, the other thing I'm struggling with is, like I said, the $50,000 difference is one thing. The majority of the cost of the John Deere set is $245,000 for the 6250R. The Krone Big M is $380,000. So quite a bit more money. I have no issues with the Pottinger mower set. It's worth its money. And just like the Krone Big M, it will get used 3 times a year. But the John Deere, if I was to put this into regular service on my farm, like I have it on my regular farm, not my test farm, would be used for all sorts of different things. Everything from mowing to cultivating to planting, fertilizing, depending on the size of the fertilizer spreader I was using. So it would perform a multitude of tasks. Therefore, I'm trying to find the right wording here, its average cost per use would go down because it's being used for many more things. As long as I keep the maintenance up according to my maintenance chart, and I will, like I said, produce a separate video on that, it has a fairly consistent maintenance cost. So essentially what I'm struggling with is to try and decide what the maintenance cost of using this tractor for mowing is versus its overall use. And I guess I can't really put a number on that because, like I said, it gets used for everything. Whereas the Krone Big M will get used 3 times a year like the Pottinger mower set. So I guess weighing that in mind, you could probably deduct at least another $100,000 from the cost of this set based on the fact that the tractor will do all sorts of other jobs on the farm. Therefore, it goes from being, let's say, $50,000 difference to $150,000 or $200,000 difference. So that makes the Krone Big M a very expensive piece of equipment for what it does. It is essentially a one-trick pony. Much like the sugarcane harvester, which does one job, and that is harvest sugarcane. In this case, even worse, only once a year. So, try as they may, I just can't find a way to justify the cost of the Krone Big M over the Pottinger NovaCat A10 combo with the John Deere. Costs would be even lower if I used the Ford, because it doesn't cost quite as much as the John Deere, and therefore its repair costs would be even lower. And it would still have enough horsepower to power the A10 mower set. Switching back to the Krone, you can see the difference that it left in the field. There are those swaths that for some reason it wouldn't mow properly. So I hate to say it, that's another strike against it. I don't think I'm missing anything. I think my initial assumption was correct. Like I said, it's a one-trick pony. Buy it if you want it, if you can afford it. But on a dollar for dollar value, you're better off with something like the John Deere with the NovaCat, or a Class Axion with a NovaCat. You will get much better value for your dollar overall. Now, here's where I can lose half my audience, because I'm going to go into real farming facts. And for some reason, I've noticed that my real farming facts don't generate as much interest as just the basic Farming Simulator 22 facts. But I did some research on the Krone Big M. And the Krone Big M was introduced in the early 90s to mid 90s. And it was essentially the first large what I want to call it, the first large, they call it a mower conditioner set. As opposed to just a mower set. Now, North America has been using Mocos or swathers, not swathers, but Mocos, haybines, or conditioners for a while. If you look into Farming Simulator 17 or Farming Simulator 19, you'll find that the game actually included the New Holland disc bind. That was what I was looking for. It included the New Holland disc bind. Essentially, a disc bind, haybine, or patented term for John Deere was Moco for mower conditioner. And that's what the Krone Big M is. What a mower conditioner does, and unfortunately there's no way of telling just looking at this, is it breaks down the grass stem. It literally crushes it between two rollers so that it breaks the stem and lets the moisture out. If you go back into Farming Simulator 17 or 19 and you look at the case haybine, I'm going to call it, you will see that it actually has two rollers at the back of it. It's very similar to, I just missed Mowers. It's very similar to the Kverland 4140, except you will see this is just a disc, a blade mower. It doesn't have a conditioning unit at the back. I could load Farming Simulator 19 or 17 to show you the difference, but that's not here nor there. So the purpose of the mower conditioner is, like I said, it breaks down the stem, it lets the moisture out. For silage, that means silage will ferment faster. For hay or for haylage, it also means the crop gets ready sooner. Because sitting in the sun with a broken stem and the moisture leaking out, the grass is going to dry quicker. So you could leave your grass in the field for a day and you could then collect it, blow it into the old-fashioned silos to create haylage, or haylage bales if you had a wrapper, and away you go. You might have to ted it once depending on the humidity levels. Same with hay. Let it go for 2 or 3 days and it would dry in the sun. Ted it once or twice, and it would be dry a lot quicker than it would be if you just used a regular mower set like the NovaCat. Now, I did a quick check on the various manufacturers' websites, John Deere, Case, and so on, and even Pottinger. The NovaCat's been around for a while, but you can actually buy a separate conditioning unit for it, which adds, I think if I have my numbers memorized correctly, was another 50,000 euros. John Deere and Case still offer their old hay binds or mower conditioners in various configurations, but even their new swathers now come with the option to have a conditioning unit added to them. In fact, John Deere has a swathy unit with roughly the same horsepower as the Krone Big M, but it has a 45-meter head 45-foot head, which is essentially the same as a combine's header, and you can get a conditioning unit for that too. So, I guess with demand, or with technology, or with demand, comes innovation. So, even in the real world, the Krone Big M, while still an impressive unit, is no longer the king of mowers. If I was still dairy farming and I had a large herd that needed a lot of grass, well, not grass, but hay or silage, I would probably go with the John Deere, and I forget the model number, but it's fairly new, but with the 45-foot header. You're going to cover a lot of ground, and you're going to get the conditioning the same as you would the Krone Big M. If I was a small to mid-sized dairy farmer that didn't need such a big operation or operating unit, I would do what I just suggested in this game and go with the front rear mower set to take advantage of the fact that my tractor is already on the farm and I'm not investing in a piece of equipment that I would only use 3 times a year. And in some parts of North America, that's only twice a year, depending on how well the grass grows and the growing conditions. So, I hope you found this video useful. And I hope it both educates you a little bit in terms of the cost ratio of the Krone Big M versus a NovaCat or one of the other mower combos in the game. I would very, very much like to hear your comments about the Krone Big M versus the, well, in this case, like I said, the John Deere combo set that I'm using. And whether you think the Krone Big M still has a place on your farm, and whether you're willing to invest $400,000 in a piece of equipment that you're only going to use 3 times a year. Or whether you think the money is better put towards a tractor with a front and rear mower that will do other jobs besides just mowing. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. A like never hurt anyone, and it definitely helps the channel out. Thank you for watching, Jay.